Hey, what's up? It's Cam from the Brother Slim, and we are back for some Oathsworn story, moving into Chapter 17. We're in the end game now, shall you say. So, Chapter 17, the Maelstrom. Your journey begins at 8.1 on the next page. Alrighty, Roo. And before we get started, we are using the lovely Huntress mini for this one. I don't think we ever actually used her in a fight, but it's such a cool mini, and I was quite thrilled on the autumnal paint theme that it did, and it is fall after all, so there we go. Pumpkin spice and everything. Okay, so 8.1. You've done as ordered and now have the witch you needed for the keening. The woman, still under the effects of the aether, is lethargic and slow, with only enough strength to walk when assisted. Her face is caked in dirt. The Thracians have not treated her well, probably too afraid to get close to her. Looking at the woman, you remind yourself you are looking at a person, not a target. Choose one. Wash off the dirt and regret. Decide and justifies the means, or get her to her feet. I'm trying to think about it. Well, we are a compassionate group, so we are going to choose one. Wash the dirt off her face and regret having to do this horrible task. 8.7 we go. Tokens we gain. Gently helping the woman to her feet to explain that you are following the orders of the king and have no choice in the matter. With the oath comes many burdens, and this is a heavy one. Though you may not be able to free her, you can try to keep her comfortable. Dampening a soft cloth with water, you wash the dirt from her face and offer her some food. Turn to 8.6. At last the time has come to leave Thrace. You have endured enough Thracian politicking, and lingered in the shadow of an oppressive slave system for long enough for your liking. With a lengthy journey ahead, you make for the Thracians' district to stock up on last-minute supplies. So we get to do some trading and apothecary goodies. With Thrace at your back, you plunge into the Deepwood once again. The scorching sun rising over the city behind you is blotted out by a thick forest canopy in a matter of moments, enshrouding you in a murky twilight. The sounds of cracking whips and merchants bartering soon fade away, only to be replaced by the eerie silence of the woods. With one hand on your blade and the other on the wire road, you march into darkness. Very cool. The first 2 days pass with only one instance of note. Draw a Deepwood event, so we'll skip that. I'm curious about all those cards, but just for the sake of expediency, we haven't been doing them. At dawn of the 5th day of your journey, you reach the broken end of the wire road, not far from the refuge. From Refuge, the infamous village you'd been held captive in just a few weeks ago. The thought of the Wandering Queen's eyes still haunts your nightmares. As you walk, you reach the end of the wire. Still, Wandering Queen, Refuge, and Wandering Queen. Was Refuge the place with those savage Conan-style barbarian folks? Or was Refuge the Dendry place? I can't remember. With Wandering Queen. Oh, no, never mind. Refuge was that town that had the kind of creepy cult going on, worshipping the spider, and Wandering Queen was the spider. There we go. So thought of the Wandering Queen's eyes still haunts your nightmares. As you walk, you know what? One thing I like about this too is these little callbacks are fun, and it's a great way to basically say that, hey, your character may be a heroic badass, but they aren't doing so great. Mental health is serious business, and yeah, they are not doing good on that accord at all. Okay. As you walk, you reach the end of the wire, still broken from your previous visit. Thankfully, you know the village to the west beyond a mountain range, and with the use of your free company's compass, you should be able to find the village and then the wire road once more. Removing your compass from your backpack, you check your heading. Turning to face west, you let your hand fall from the wire road and plunge into the tree line toward Refuge. After a short while, a high wind rises, stirring chaos in the boughs above. Suddenly, the air is electrified with static and your ears pop with a shift in air pressure. What little sky you can see through the canopy is quickly darkening. A storm is brewing. As the swirling wind kicks up dirt and loose branches, you check your heading once more. Then you pause. Your compass is spinning. Ruh-roh! Okay, 8.2. The secrets of a compass's mechanisms are carefully guarded by the Watchers. But though you were not privy to its inner workings, you do remember seeing a banksmith demonstrate the effect a strange metallic rock can have on them, leading the needle to point wherever the rock was positioned. I think that's magnetism, if I remember correctly. A needle spinning out of control, however, is nothing you've ever seen. Whenever things cease to make sense, one is always led to the same conclusion: witchcraft. You first check to make sure it is not your prisoner creating the phenomenon, and found her still safely under the effects of the aether. There must be something else causing this. As the air begins to vibrate with energy, you realize something is very wrong. Yay! Fat raindrops begin to pelt you from the sky as the needle continues to spin, now more erratically. The storm rages around you in full force as the howling winds lash it at cloaks. You can barely see an inch in front of your face as tree branches whip wildly through the air. In all your time in this free company, you've never experienced a storm as powerful as this. There seems to be an angry, oppressive force behind the weather, giving it a life of its own. In circumstances such as this, you are trained to find shelter and wait it out, but the captive witch in your company there is at stake. But with the captive witch in your company, there is much at stake in delay. There is also no telling if the compass will return to normal. You know the mountain range adjacent to refuge is just to the west. If you can reach it, you can either cut through or circle around to reach the village and find the wire road again. However, if you press on without knowing your bearings and head in the wrong direction, you could easily find yourself lost forever in these woods. You take your life in your own hands, both staying and going. So, as you have done many times before, you decide to take action. Okay, cool. So open mystery box Z and place its contents nearby. The chapter continues using the Deepwood journey mechanic. Place the chapter 17A time track at the bottom of the play area. We shall put this right over here. We'll probably have to move it to make room for other things later though. Place the first 5 starting tiles to the right side of the playing area and place your free company markers as shown. You were heading west, so make sure there is table space in that direction. Good stuff. Important, when using the Deepwood journey rules, always remember to move your free company marker to its new tile before adding the time token to the time track. Important, always keep your position in the storybook marked and never close it when reading from the journal. That's a mistake that I've made too much in this game, is I look at things too quick and then I end up going to the wrong place or refer back to the wrong place, and it's screwed me over even just in the story reading. But that is the way of things, so oh well. Okay, so yeah, this mechanic, I like it, it's fun, it's cool, but I've also messed it up more than anything else in this game. Even, I think I edited out like a fair chunk of the last story that I'd done of some sort of misplayed it too. My great white buffalo of this game for sure. Okay, so we're going to be moving west, so let's put ourselves way the heck over this way. So we'll put ourselves roughly in the middle, so we got lots of room. We got that one there. There we go there. Perfect. And our free company, the Huntress here, will get positioned just there. Place your free company marker is shown. Cool. Alright, so we want to go west. Let's just start going west and see what happens. Okay, so 37.1. And then we also are going to add something to our time track here too, so let's do this first. And what do we have around us here? 37.1. Kind of figured that was going to be the case. We've got a free spot up to the north and a free spot to the south. And then we do need to go to entry 103 on page 21 of the journal. That we shall do. Journal is the handy dandy extra book of fun little hints and puzzles and stuff. And journal entry 103. Okay, so there we go. No pictures in this one, just reading. The nature of the storm changes. The wind dies down, and for a moment the rain slows. You wonder if your fortunes are changing, and then it begins to rain blood. Oh my god. Your vision blurs, and the world upends. You steady yourself, trying not to throw up. The sky above you is warped and twisted by angry clouds, and the air is a red mist. You believe you were in the same spot you were a moment ago, but now are somewhere else. The same Deepwood is still there, but changed. Different, somehow. You've experienced hallucinations before, and this feels a lot like them. Your last shred of doubt that the storm is not malefic in nature evaporates as hot, sticky lifeblood falls from the sky, and the red mist gathers, coagulating before you into something horrific. Each Oathsworn performs a simultaneous survival check. Whichever Oathsworn has the lowest result loses 1 HP. Failure counts to 0. If 2 or more Oathsworn have the same lowest results, all Oathsworn... Okay, cool, so it would just be losing hit point if we were actually playing. You thought you were ready for anything, until you see a transparent bipedal hulk 15 feet high and made from raining blood emerge from the mist. It moves with savage strides, this is insane, and carves its way through to you. You raise your weapons to defend yourselves, but they have no effect. The great arms of the thing passing through them, as though they were not there. As the blood fiend makes contact with your flesh, pain shreds your nerve endings and you cry out. At the same moment, a vision strikes you, boring into your minds as a bloody hand passes through your body. You try to make sense of it. Oh, what? Set up a 1-minute timer and start it immediately. When you go to the next section of the journal, decipher the image you find there. Write down your answer and follow the instructions on that page. Open the journal to page 64 and 65. Decipher the image you find there. Write down your answer and follow the instructions on the page. Okay, here we go. Flippy flippin'. Oh. Ooh. If you're using the storybook and you have an answer or the timer has run out, go to journal entry 107. So what do we see here to decipher? Oh, I feel like these are clearly words. What does it say? Looks like an M. It looks like there's a 4 there. One thing I've realized, I used to be decent at puzzles, and I don't know if I just don't have the patience for them, or specifically the optical ones. Optical or anything to do with math, which I mean is a fair bit of puzzles. It's not my cup of tea. I don't really have an answer for what we see here. I think it's clearly supposed to be a word. Okay, yeah, I could not decipher that. So 107, if you wrote revenge, turn to journal entry 105. If you did not, turn to 106. So we'll follow 106, but I am just kind of curious. So what is, just for fun, what is 105? Huh, interesting. Okay, so 105 we would have had success at breaking free, but 106, you try to sharpen your mind, knowing there is something to the vision. The pain is immense and your mind feels like it is unraveling. Sensations and emotions whip around you in a hurricane of potency. As you focus, something emanates from the blood fiend. The thing despises you. One word reverberates over and over again. Revenge, revenge, revenge. You snap out of the vision and find yourself in the real world once more. Okay, so this is just identical. Somehow, your success at controlling the vision had broken you free. You were glad knowing you would not have survived much longer in there with that thing. As the terror of the vision fades, you realize you understand something else. The creature is not gone. It is still there, just beyond the veil. You can feel it. You need to put distance between it and you, whatever it is. If the hallucination should come again, so will it. Oh, cool. So I am curious if this is just word for word the exact same. Yeah, so it is word for word the exact same, whether you get the puzzle right or not, which just... there's so many awesome things about this game, but just small things like that. And there's so many cool, awesome story things that work great, but the illusion of choice here is a big one. Okay, so place a number 1 tracker token on the same tile as you were on. This represents the blood fiend. Okay, so we'll put that right there. On the journal page, open the journal to page 62, read the rules for the blood fiend, and then continue the story book. 62. Okay. Blood Fiend rules. Ironic, I actually just flipped to this by accident the other day and was like, ooh, what could this be? Keep this page open throughout the chapter as a reference to the Blood Fiend rules. Write this page number down if you have free company sheet so you can relate here if you need to move to another page for any reason. The Blood Fiend is tracking you. When you go into the other place, it will move. When you return to reality, it will stop. Blood Fiend movement will move a number of tiles indicated by the story. When told to move the Blood Fiend, move it as directly as possible towards a free company marker. The number of tiles indicated using the following rules. The Blood Fiend will head either north, east, south, or west from each tile. The Blood Fiend will always move west to try to get in the direction north/south line with the free company before it moves north or south. The Blood Fiend can only move on placed tiles and will not move onto block tiles. Cool. Blood Fiend attacks. If the Blood Fiend ever moves onto a tile occupied by the free company, a random Oathsworn loses 1 hit point. However, any Oathsworn may opt to take the place of a randomly chosen Oathsworn if they wish, losing 1 hit point instead of the original target. Cool. Alrighty, Roo. Well, let's continue on and move. So, which way do we want to go here? North or south? We've got a little tiny bit more room if we go south, so let's do that. So we are going to go south to 11.1. Bugger. Okay, so let's see. We get one of those, which does not spark joy. We can go south more, so we're probably going to do that. Then I assume we put another time track down. If I remember how to do these rules correctly, we'll do that. So south we go, which is going to be 5.1. Oh, crap. Okay, well, yeah, not liking this. I just need to push everything forward a little bit here. So we'll move that up to there, that up to there. Okay. So here we are. Everything like that, actually. And so 5.1, there we go, and there we go. So we are going to keep going south, which does not spark joy. Okay, 5.1, choose a direction to go in, north or south. Oops, that was actually supposed to be flipped. Okay, so go to entry 104 on page 21 of the journal. As you march through the storm, something new happens. The trees around you begin to shudder and your movements become sluggish, as though walking through molasses. This is not an effect of the storm. This is something else. Looking at your prisoner, you see a change coming over her as she is waking up. Waves of power roll up from the witch, and you dive for the Aether in your pack. Hurriedly, you give her another dose, and the effect subsides. You dread to think what she would be capable of if fully awake. Okay, return to journal page 62 and continue in the storybook. So we've used 1 Aether. I don't have a pencil right now, but I'll just have to remember we've used 1. So we are going to continue south here, which is 24.1. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, 24.1, we can finally move west, which is good. There we go. We cannot move that way. And if we wanted to, which we don't, we could move south. Up ahead, you hear the sound of rushing water. As the trees open up, you can see an ancient riverbed flowing down from the mountains to the west. What had once been dried up for 1,000 years is now a massing surge of water and debris some 20 paces across. As the rain batters your face, you weigh your options. Perform a reasoning check. Okay, 24.8. Looking at the churning water, you realize that your choices are limited. You can go over or through. Wood floats, and with a few branches and linked arms, you might be able to stay together long enough to swim the other side. On the other hand, the trees swaying in the wind above the river pass close enough to reach to each of you for you to attempt to jump between branches in the canopy. The rain coats everything, and there is no telling if the branches will hold, but it provides a potential drier path. Neither option sounds good to you, but the worst would be to try to go back and face the Blood Fiend. Try to float across with linking arms. Try to jump across the branches. We're in the Deepwood. We're not going to go in the river. We're going to try to jump across. Let's do it. 24.3. Looking up, you squint against the torrent pouring from the sky. The trees sway in the wind, and the black bark is slick with slime. Yet looking back at the river, you think this is still safer. Ordering your company to begin the climb, you pick the strongest looking tree and ascend to the low branches where the limbs are thickest. Stepping gingerly onto a limb crossing the churning water below, you grab other branches to stabilize yourself. Before you is a leap of faith, a distance the height of a man where no support can be found. The branch on the far tree sways in the high winds, and timing your leap, you jump. This actually does sound pretty ridiculous. Maybe the river would have been safer, but we're past that. Each Oathsworn performs a check, fail if not. In addition, roll an unused hit point die. If you roll 1 to 4, archive a random combat ally. Okay. 24.10. You land hard on the branch you were aiming for. With the wind nearly knocked out of you, you grip the limb as white foam thunders below. One after another, your companions do the same. It seems you made the right choice as everyone lands safely on the far side of the river. Dragging yourself back to level ground, you get ready to move out. Choose a direction to go in. Well, we are going to go west for sure. So this is going to be 19.1. So we'll go this way, put a time token on, and read 19.1. There we go. There we go. We haven't been told to move the Blood Fiend yet, so that's something. Alrighty, well, we're going to keep going west here, so we'll add another token to the slot. There we go. Just now, just a little bit off camera. Put it up there. Perfecto. Okay, so let's do it. 17.1. Alright, so we are blocked from going further west. We can go north and south. I think we are going to go north. I don't know how sound gameplay decisions are based on camera space, but we're doing it. Okay, so Okay, well, I just lost myself in the book. I don't know why I struggle with this. It's not a difficult thing, but it's getting me pretty much, I think, every single time that we've done this setup. Okay, so 17.1. As Deepwood floor begins to incline more steeply, you spot a break in the tree line to the west and catch a glimpse of the great grey outline of a mountain range jutting from the earth. Examining the map you found in refuge, you can see the village lies on the far side of those mountains, but you will need to decipher whether to head south and skirt around the southern tip of the range, or to head north and find a way through them. Let's go north. So I'll put us up to here. And 49.1. And we're going to entry 108 on the time track here too. The wind dies down once more, and for a moment the rain slows. And you know what this means. Blood begins to pour from the sky, and your world upends. You are in the other place once more. You steady yourself, and can feel the Blood Fiend begin to move towards you. It has your scent again. You need to break free from this realm, and soon. As you realize the danger you were in, visions batter your mind. You can feel your mind wrenched from your body and sent wheeling through the Deepwood towards a village of refuge. your mind wanting to fracture at the myriad paths lay before you. Spinning and turning in your mind, you double over in waves of nausea. You must keep control. Set up a 2-minute timer and start it immediately when you go to the next section in the journal. Complete the maze you find in the next section by discovering the correct route to the village, starting from the right-hand edge. When you have an answer, return here and choose the village entrance that connects to the correct path. If the timer runs out of time, you must immediately return here and make a choice. Okay, 66 and 67. Oh, this is a pretty cool puzzle. Okay, well, let's have at her here. I don't think I brought a pencil out here, so I'll just have to trace with my finger. Let's see how we can do. Okay, well, I mean, that was pretty easy, so 2. Let's see if that is correct. Village entrance 2. Go to the journal entry 110. Alrighty. You cannot find the path. Your mind splits and splits again, each path fracturing your consciousness. Your sense of individuality teeters on the brink as your sense of being stretches to the breaking point. You were lost in the woods. Lost. Time thins and echoes around you, screaming in your head. You rail against the madness, and finally, with a snapping sensation, you coalesce. You find yourself focused on your destination, the village of refuge. If you have the purged keyword on your free company sheet, turn to journal entry 115. If you do not, do 116. Let's take a look at our free company sheet and see. Paragon, Infested, Pruning, King's Guards, White Amber, Plague Stage 1. Nope, no purged. Okay, so 114. The village that it tried to offer you as a sacrifice appears in your mind. At first, the village seems just as you left it. The structures and eerie grass, free of the Deepwood's taint, flashes in your mind. However, you see no people. Then the vision draws you to the village center, and you find them. Hundreds of corpses lie in a ring, facing inward towards the windowless structure of the village's heart. The village is completely dead. The vision breaks, and you return to the red mist. The Blood Fiend is coming. Ooh. Move the Blood Fiend, token 1, 4 tiles towards a free company. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Scary. If the Blood Fiend is on the same tile, go to 117. If it is not, go to 118. Okay. You can feel it off in the distance, like you know where your own arm is. You could potentially point to it with your eyes closed. You can see the silhouette of blood advancing toward you through the crimson curtain of rain. But before it can reach you, you force yourself to snap out of the illusion. The real world comes back into focus. Water runs down your face, and you are free once more from the other place. I'm curious if this Blood Fiend is the Mycel, the bloody, bruised, scabby ogre of Thrace, because he is eternal or whatever, so it makes sense that even killing him didn't necessarily end him. 62, so way back. 62. Cool. Oh, I'm not supposed to have all these tokens out. I've been doing this wrong. That's okay. You have traveled up to the foothills of the mountain range that you know lies between you and the village to the east. The footing is treacherous and deeply overgrown with snaking Deepwood limbs. It takes you precious time, but you finally forge a path which will give you access to the mountain. Add a time token to the time track. So I'm not going to add one because I've been adding one every turn. So I've been doing it wrong. But that is okay. So let's go west. 22.1. Okay, 22.1. All right, so we're going to be going north after. The Deepwood gives way to hard rock and you ascend the mountain, climbing hand over hand across boulders. The wind whips around you and the rain threatens your grip, yet you push on. After a time, the treetops fall away and you are left with the mountain and the roiling storm. Eventually, you reach the summit and gain a clear view of the nexus of swirling clouds that is the hurricane. Lightning arcs illuminate a vortex above you, and you are struck by a sense of your own smallness in the face of such awesome power. To your surprise, you are not alone on the summit. Drawing your eyes away from the storm, you can make out a solitary cloaked figure standing, arms outstretched towards the nexus. The figure is tall and carries an elegantly crafted blade on his back, longer than any you have ever seen. Advancing cautiously, you ask the man a question. So you get two options. One is ask the figure who they are, and two, ask the figure what they are doing here. Probably what they're doing here. 22.2. Seemingly unsurprised by your presence, the figure merely turns, and his head a fraction, and from beneath the cowl, pale lips reply. The animus flows strong here. You begin to ask who or what he is, but before you can finish, the figure moves with unnatural speed and leaps from the cliff. Rushing to its edge, you look down and see nothing but a deadly drop below. At least, deadly for any human. You did not get a sense the figure was responsible for the storm, but seemed instead to be drinking from it, somehow. Lightning arcing overhead snapped you from your reverie. You have no time to wonder where the figure went. You need to focus on where you were going. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. So I am curious. Just for fun, the other one is the exact same, except the figure responds, you ask the wrong question. You begin to ask what the right question is. Yeah, so you asked the wrong question. So I like the one that we chose, Animus. Animus is one of the gameplay mechanics that we spend for actions, and it's just a fun little detail tying that into the story of the world too. So well done, I like that. Me like you for sure. Okay, so choose a direction to go in, north or east. I think we're going to go north again, so 16.1. Baga! We're going to have to keep going north, as we cannot go west here. Here we go. The wind howls around you and the mountain stretches out before you, jagged and treacherous. There is no way to move west between these sharp falls and impossible climbs. We are going to go north to 33.1, so we'll scoot forward, 33.1. Awesome, we are able to go west once more. We love to see it. That is good. Choose a direction to go in. We are going to go west, so we'll scoot over there. And that is going to be 32.1. So we can go north, but we can't go west here, which is too bad. 32.1. As water streams around you, cascading over rocks and towards lowlands, you desperately search for a path that will lead you through the mountain. There is no Deepwood here to block your view, but still, the rain and darkness of the storm hamper visibility. Then, through a flash of lightning, you see it. The mouth of a cave. Could this be a tunnel to the far side? Sparking an amber torch, you inspect the opening. You hear no danger within and see no telltale glints of light moving in the darkness, watching you. Frozen and soaked through, you head in. Almost immediately, a silence falls over you, a welcome quiet, devoid of howling and broken only by the rhythmic sound of your footsteps. As you had hoped, the cave becomes a tunnel and continues to stretch towards the west. You may finally be having some good fortune for a change. Gain some tokens, turn to 32.2. Continuing by amber light, you forge on. Now sure this will lead you out on the far side of the mountain. As you draw closer, however, the walls of the tunnel change. Grey rock gives way to silken threads, and you hear skittering coming from side passages. Raising your weapons, you proceed cautiously into an open space covered in webs and lit on the far side by the distant light of the cave's exit. You know what this is. It's the lair of the Wandering Queen. She's dead thanks to you. And stuff like this, I love. Good freaking job on the storytelling here. How things come back in not necessarily huge, important ways is my guess for this one, but just really fun that they do. But looking up, you see the reflection of dozens of eyes staring back. You failed to kill all her young that day, and they've been hiding here ever since. You bark You bark to take up a defensive stance. At the same moment, the spiders fall on you. Perform a round of combat. As 8-legged monstrosities twitch and curl where they fell, you call for the all clear. Wiping ichor from your blades, you find an item left from some poor unfortunate. Searching the webs, you discover its own skeleton, his chest broken outward from the inside. You hope you got the last of them, but you will not be going back in to find out. Gathering at the cave's exit, you pull your hoods up once more and head back into the storm. Gain a common item, and choose a direction to go in. We are going to go north once more, hopefully for the last time, so we don't go off the edge of the map here. North we go. And so it's going to be 2.1. Okay, awesome. So we can keep going north and also west, which we like. We like very much. Let's just push this up a little bit now. 2.1. The scene before you is a maelstrom. Trees buckle and water runs in torrents from the mountain to the east. The area is a floodplain of water up to your waist. Every Oathsworn knows not to wade into bodies of water like this. Anything can stalk you just below the surface, but you see no other option. Taking it slow, you manage to get across unharmed, but the water is slow to your progress. Add a time token to the time track, so technically speaking, I'm just going to not do that because we've added way more time tokens than we should have, and we're going to head there. Choose a direction to go in. We cannot travel south from this one. Interesting, because, so we would be... did I move us? I guess not. So we'd be here. And so we can go like that and like that. So again, I think some of these are messed up. I don't know why I struggle with this. It's a simple thing, but I've definitely struggled. Okay, so we are going to go west, 25.1. Okay, 25.1. So that's basically off the map for us, but we'll go with that. And then also north. I think I'm probably just going to clear all this away and then just shuffle everything over, but we shall see. 25.1. Choose a direction to go in. Well, west it shall be to there. 27.1. Ooh, fun. We get any which way but loose. So we'll probably go south here, actually. But I should, yeah, let's just get rid of all of these ones, and I'm going to shuffle everything over. There we go. Okay, so 27.1. Oh, it's kind of tempting to go south again. Okay, 27.1. Let's actually go south here. So 35.1. Okay, 35.1. Here we go. $35.1. Awesome, awesome. We are going to head west to 39.1. The world is wide open once more, which we love to see. Beautiful, beautiful. As you know, you must be getting close to the village of refuge. The storm is intensifying as forked lightning bursts across the sky. Then, your world goes white. So we do have the Witch Oathsworn with us. Let's do it. 39.5. Which performs a might check. So 39.4 we go. Lots and lots of flipping. A bolt of lightning bursts above your head. Crackling electricity cascades around an invisible dome proceeding from your witch's outstretched hands and flows safely into the ground. Sweat glistens on your witch's forehead as she clenches her hands in pain. Such control of the elements is an awesome sight, but it has drained her. Nevertheless, she's certainly saved your life in that moment. Very cool, very cool. More lightning bolts land not far off. You are near the center of it now, the eye of the storm. You begin to run. Okay, well, I think let's keep going west here. So 3.1, all the way back at the very beginning. Okay, 3.1, here we go. We cannot go north or west, so we're going to be going south. Okay, south 42.1. So much flippy flippy. 42.1. Okay, so south we are going to continue to go. There we go. .1. Okay, 41.1. Through the howling wind and driving rain, you press onward. Tree limbs lash at your face, and mud slips beneath your boots. Thunder rumbles overhead, and the only illumination is from stark jolts of white lightning that crash around you. You are at your limit when the blood rain begins again. Something is different this time, though. And as the storm continues, you are not in the other place. You find you are still in the real world. This is a bad omen. Emerging from the trees behind you, the blood fiend strides. The fiend is here in the real world. Somehow, it has clawed its way into reality. There is no veil between you now. It has become more powerful, larger, as it draws strength from the storm itself. You are exhausted, but you know you only have one option. You break formation and run. Ooh. You add to the result of your Thracian Blade, Exile, Ursus, or Huntress. Then if anyone fails, you lose hit points. Past tree after tree you charge, the blood fiend hot on your heels. It shows no sign of tiring. All you have done is bought yourself time. Suddenly, the tree line appears and you burst into a familiar circle of clear ground. You've reached refuge, the eye of the storm. Turning, you see the blood fiend advancing behind you. It raises a thick claw made from rolling droplets of blood and swings it towards your face. Then the blood fiend collapses as its form crosses the edge of the clearing. Whatever malefice emanates the thing ceases, and thousands of droplets of blood fall on the ground, forming just another pool of blood. You blink in shock. It seems the fiend had been a product of the storm or whoever wields it. Bound under its shadow, here at the height of the storm, it lost its grip on reality. You are not out of the woods yet. Turning back to the village, you see the sight of swirling shadows and blood whirling in a vortex around structures in the heart of refuge, the storm's source. Drawing weapons, you stalk toward the center. Keeping clear any line of sight, you press your backs to one of the many wooden houses gathered around the village's heart. The last time you were here, an ancient spider queen tried to eat you. Now you have to deal with a bloodstorm. If you survive this, you vow to yourself to burn this place to the ground and rid the world of its taint once and for all. You begin to signal a flanking maneuver when a voice emerges from the vortex. Come, marked ones. He waits. Whoever is responsible for the storm knows you are here. They know you are here. With the element of surprise lost, you emerge from the shadow of the building to an unholy sight. Hundreds of corpses lay in concentric circles, all facing inward. I thought that was going to be real. As you look on in horror, you see the blood draining from them in a red mist curling through the air to be deposited inside an abomination. The resurrected corpse of the Scar Tribe chieftain. Horribly disfigured, his bloated proportions are twisted and corrupted. One of his arms has been warped into a single great claw, and bony strikes jut from his back. You realize that what you are seeing resembles the blood fiend that had been stalking you through the storm. Had it been the chieftain that hunted you? A red glow lights his eyes, and behind him you can see the shaman you battled in the Scar Tribe village. Somehow she had survived the conflagration, brought the chieftain's body here, and now, using the blood of an entire village, had brought back this creature from the dead. You have no idea how it was done, but you know why. Revenge. Then the sensation had permeated every encounter with the blood fiend. The shaman had followed you, known you would return through refuge, and laid her trap. The storm, the other place, this abomination, all in an embodiment of one unfulfilled desire to finish what was started, to see you dead. The chieftain roars, and from the corner of your eye, you see the shadows of the corpses elongate. Hands in shapes of mouths stretch out around the shaman and the chieftain, ignoring them to seek you out. Even the shadows bend to the shaman's will. It will take fire and fury to finish this task. Sparking amber torches, you roar your own battle cry. Cool, and then we are going to do our fave thing of what's in the box. Cool. Once again, stuff coming back to haunt us. Love it. That's sweet. So let's take a look at the buried cards and all of the exploration stuff here. Let's just pile that there and take a look at this first. Ho! That's pretty freaking cool. That is pretty freaking cool indeed. So this is the chieftain. So the shaman and the chieftain. Very fun. And then for anyone who wants to read the rules there of how things go, there we go. And now to ask the age-old question, maybe to the 8th sin of revenge here. What's in the box? I think I might have actually painted this one too really quick. Yes, I did. So really not crap, but really quick paint job on this. But, much better than not painted. And that is the chieftain. Reincarnated as the Blood Fiend. Cool, not gonna lie. So I knew this mini existed, but I totally assumed the Blood Fiend was that thing that we just killed in Thrace. Yeah, cool. Pretty awesome mini. It reminds me very much of like Warped by Chaos, kind of Chaos Spawn champion for Warhammer kind of vibe, which I feel like Conan and Age of Sigmar / Fantasy Battles is gotta be some of the inspiration for the Scar Tribe. So yeah, that's cool. Cool indeed. How does this little thing put back on? There we go. And let's check out the gear. Actually, one thing first. Let's look at Encounter 17 just for the map, because I'm kind of curious. 40. Nice. So we would actually be using... so we pull out the Shaman from the previous chapter, as well as Shadows from a previous chapter. Cool. Very fun. So things are getting more complex. I love that it's using previous encounters and such too. Like, it's one thing to be able to have a box full of brand new things that you fight, but again, for the sake of storytelling and reusing things in fun, creative ways, bringing things back to what's before is fun. I like it. That's neat. Let's take a look at the unique gear. Indeed. Dire Ward. Plate armor must be played. This item ability must be played if it is in your hand or face up. If you are a companion. Place a random ability card on cooldown. This triggers battle flow as usual. Cool. Shaman's Wrappings. Fun and thematic. Loses health. So able to do free damage at the cost of losing health. Man Reaper. That is a terrifying looking axe. Target gains bleed. And then they can take additional damage if they are bleeding. Chieftain's Might. This effect is always active. For each unconscious Oathsworn, your armor is increased by 1 and your might is increased by 1 red. Mark this with a tracker token and cubes on your might track. That is pretty freaking cool. Love that, honestly. Shaman's Fetish. Oh, it has a nasty head. After you draw damage, add 1 damage to the damage for each item you have on cooldown / face down. Yeah, some fun stuff. I don't really see the theme of Dire Ward, but everything else in there is super neat. Very fun indeed. Cool. Well, let's take a looky-loo at the epilogue here. Chapter 17 epilogue. Here we are. The brutish form of the chieftain lies in ruins with the shaman not far off. The two of them nearly succeeded in their desire to end you. When you finally felled the shaman, the storm unraveled, distant thunder subsided, and the grey curtain of rain stilled. The shadows returned to their natural state, and the sun finally peeked from behind the clouds. Making sure they can never rise again, you burn all the bodies along with the remains of refuge, drying yourself by the purifying flames. The village is finally being laid to rest. The only good thing about all this has been that your Thracian witch, Aurelia, is unharmed. Still under the effects of the Aether, you get her to her feet, and head her to the wire road to her room. Now the hard part begins. Cool. I like that a lot. I'm loving how things are kind of coming back and being tied together. That's really neat. And just great world building. I like it. Me likey for sure. And yeah, so next time we shall dive into the story of No Return, Chapter 18. We're getting to the end of this, and I think what I'm going to try to do with this channel to a degree, because real life is freaking amazing and there's a lot of really fun stuff going on, so this is very much more of a hobby thing than anything else, but I want to try to up the quality of some of the stuff too. So especially for ATO, we're really near the end of Cycle 1, and so I think I'm going to try and use the app with the super crazy, amazing, high quality voiceover stuff that they've done, and do not a playthrough, but like a story video series based on that. And I don't know what I'm going to do for visuals yet. It's probably not just going to be my table, but hopefully like artwork from the game or like the minis or something. I don't know yet, but if I can figure that out, I think it would be fun and much more digestible for anyone interested in the story rather than the dozens and dozens of hours of us actually playing through it, especially all the downtime and stuff of fights and such as well. So gonna try to do that. Also gonna maybe commission some like Fiverr cheapo graphics to spruce up the channel, make it look a little bit more fun, and work on some better thumbnails too. So that's kind of my plan for end of this year, beginning of 2025. But yeah, anyways, that's a ramble on my little hobby YouTube channel. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time, diving into Chapter 18, No Return. Bye!